So, Chappie, let me get all the awkward stuff out of the way first. Have you ever been interviewed by somebody in full uniform that's already dirty before? Is this a first for you?
Yeah, it feels like quite the opposite.
Usually you're the dirty one.
I am.
The other thing is, are you aware there's a website out there called MattChapmanFanClub.com?
No.
There is.
Are you serious?
I bought it. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
It goes to my YouTube account. Check it out later.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I just wanted, in case you knew, or in case you didn't know, I wanted to make sure that we just got all the awkward stuff out of the way. Is that creepy? A little bit.
You did buy it?
Yeah. Check it out later.
Okay.
To the real stuff. Why have you become so good defensively in the course of all your baseball years? What do you think it is that specifically allows you to do what you do with a glove?
I mean, I think just the amount of hard work that I've put in, and how much I care about defense, honestly, and probably the fact that I feel like I'm not that good at defense sometimes.
Sorry, what?
Like, I feel like I've been making way too many errors lately, to be honest with you. So I feel like I'm never really satisfied. Maybe too much of a perfectionist or too hard on myself, but I don't think that I'm the best right now. I think I have a lot more left to prove, and I need to get a lot more consistent. I make too many errors, but I think that it's just been something that's been stressed my whole life, is being fundamentally sound, and defense wins ball games and things like that. So just coming from Southern California, that's the style of baseball we play. That's what we believe in, and being fundamentally sound and pitching and defense wins games. And then obviously hitting. I think hitting is just as important, but it's just one of those things that I was kind of how I was brought up, and yeah, I feel like I try to do everything to the max and be as good as I can be. But I'm definitely never satisfied, and I always get frustrated with my defense and want to be better.
Baseball's so cool, and especially in the time you grew up, there was a bunch of great defensive third basemen to watch, idolize. I don't know if you always saw yourself playing third base, but who were the guys that you did kind of keep an eye on when you were a kid?
I mean, I definitely always saw myself playing shortstop,
Mm-hmm.
but now I can just say that I'm a shortstop playing third base. You know, I feel like there's a new style of third baseman, in the sense of, I mean, you look at Bregman and myself and some of the other guys around the league playing third base that are very athletic and able to make some plays that maybe the average third baseman wouldn't, or we're just maybe making the position at third base a little different than it is, you know, instead of just being a guy that goes up there and just bangs and rakes and is average at defense. It's more of a well-rounded position, I think, and because it's important. But guys that I looked up to were like David Wright, Chipper Jones, Evan Longoria, Adrian Beltre. I mean, the list goes on and
Some
on.
good
Those
ones,
are those are the guys off the top of my head. Troy Gloss when he played with the Angels. I mean, there's so many good third basemen. It's especially when I was growing up. You know, I like to watch Michael Young, even though he played a bunch of different positions. I thought he was one of my favorite players. You know, he really could hit. But just guys like that, you know, guys that I feel like a lot of third basemen were just really well-rounded players, and guys that you could really, you know, look up to and want to be like them.
Speaking of growing up, you spent high school years with Nolan Arenado. I mean, first off, like, what are the chances that you guys both end up where you did? What was that like being around him? You gained something from him? Did he gain something from you? Are you guys still close? How does it go?
I don't know if he gained anything from me, just because the only time that we really spent together, I was like 14 and 15 years old, so I don't really know how much I was bringing to the table. From that standpoint, probably gave him some good laughs. You know, I was always like to mess around and be funny, but it was great. You know, I think he made me better. Maybe I pushed him to work harder just because I was always trying to beat him at everything. You know, even though I don't know if I ever won, but it was cool. I mean, I played against him in Little League, so I've known Nolan and his family since I was probably 7 years old. And I played with his brother. My sister's friends with his little brother. They're like the same age, so you know, our parents stay in touch, so it's kind of cool. I always knew he was going to be, you know, who he was going to be, and I think that nobody really knew who I was going to be except for myself. You know, I always believed in myself and thought I was good enough to be here, but I don't think very many other people did. So it was kind of a surprise to him, I'm sure, but it was cool. And watching him do what he does, and somebody I look up to and stay in touch with, you know, definitely going to try and work out with him this offseason.
So you guys keep in touch. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You know, going back to when you hadn't made it yet, you and I actually did an interview.
Yeah, when
early
we were
last
in
summer.
Sacramento.
You were with the Nashville Sounds. You guys came out to visit the River Cats and play a game. Like, isn't it crazy to think how much you've experienced since then, how much baseball you've experienced, probably how much life you've experienced since just that interview alone? How do you think you've changed since being very good at AAA to being very good at Major League Baseball?
I don't know how much I've changed, but everything around me's changed. You know, I'm a firm believer in, you know, why I'm here today is because of who I am and everything I've been through, and I'm not going to change the person I am because I'm here. But I mean, I think maybe I've matured a little bit in the game of baseball and maybe off the field a little bit, but I mean, I think no matter where I was, everybody grows up, and you're just going to continue to grow up and mature and use those experiences. But I want to be the person that doesn't change, you know, no matter how big this gets or how big it doesn't get. No matter what happens, I don't want to change. I want to be the same person. And, you know, I've never really been in it for anything other than just playing baseball and winning and building relationships with my buddies and my teammates, and just want to be on winning teams and just win baseball games and be a good person. I don't want the fame, you know, obviously. You need to make money to get by in the world. I'm not stupid, but I don't really care about those things too much. I know it sounds cliche, but I think those are some of the things that drive people crazy, and you know, and make people lose sight of and do things that aren't them.
Right.
I don't want to ever be that person.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Bob Melvin. He seems to have almost empowered you and a lot of other young players, a lot of other young leaders on this team right now, because it is very much youth-based still. What has he done for you as a manager in this first full season?
It's been amazing. You know, I don't think that I even can appreciate how awesome of a manager he is, because he's been the only one I've ever had.
Right.
But guys who have played elsewhere and played with other managers and other organizations and been to the playoffs and had success and, you know, been on good teams and had managers they really like. I mean, everybody says he's the best.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like he's the best, and I know that's biased considering he's the only manager I've ever had. But to me, I mean, it's been amazing. I think that I wouldn't be the player I am today if it wasn't for him, because sometimes I have a big personality, and I might not fall in line with being the quiet rookie or somebody who just like takes everything that everybody throws at him, or however you want to call it.
Right.
You know, I'm not one for swallowing my pride too much, or just being like the rookie that's going to get hazed or things like that,
right,
which might not fly on other teams. You know, I feel like he's let us, and a credit to the veterans on our team, they've let all of us be ourselves. And
absolutely.
And I think it just goes to show you what can really happen when you don't, you know, make rookies feel like they're, you know, not part of the team or whatever it is. He's let me speak my mind and speak my opinion and do what we want, you know, not that we're doing bad things, but it's like them just let you be who you are and not have to, we don't have very many rules, or very like, it's just take care of your business off the field and take care of your business on the field. And he treats us like, he doesn't treat us like we're little kids. And I think that's my favorite thing. I think that one of my biggest pet peeves is when people try to treat us like we're little kids, or treat us like we need to be like
coached every way around.
Or like micromanaged, and like I'm here, I'm in the big leagues, we may be young, but I want to be treated with respect, and I want to be treated like a professional, and if I haven't given them any other reason not to, so he just lets us be ourselves. And so the veterans, I know that some of the veterans were talking about how when they were rookies and came up, how hard all the veterans were on them and made them feel like they weren't part of the team, and it just kind of made them feel bad about themselves. And they never forgot that, and it shows, because none of them have treated us like that. Sure that there's I mean, they're going to make us feel like rookies one time or another, and they're going to make us do some things we may not want to do, but that's all part of it. But there's a difference between that and
over and over
and just like beating somebody down and breaking them down. They're letting us flourish and letting us be who we are. And I don't think that if I was in any other organization, it would be able to happen as like authentic and as like genuine as it is happening for all of us here, because we all genuinely care about each other, and all the veterans are doing nothing but helping us and letting us be ourselves. And I don't think we'd all be able to act the way we act on other teams, and I don't think we'd be the same people if we couldn't act that way.
There is a little controversy that I have to touch on, though, internally. Some other players do have a criticism of you. These are guys that you lived with last year. Matt Olson, Chad Pinder, and shouts out to Ryan Healy, by the way. They all say that when you get ready to go somewhere, you take forever. Your response?
I do go at my own speed. I might beat to the sound of my own drum sometimes.
Is it a lot of looking in the mirror? What is it?
I think Ryan Healy telling me that I take forever is the pot calling the kettle black.
That's maybe why he said that. Maybe.
Yeah, I think he would love to take a shot at me for that one.
Is there any truth to this, though? Can you admit a little bit of it?
Yeah, there's truth to that.
All right.
I do take a long time. I mean, you can ask anyone in my family if they're here after a game. I seem to be the last one to come out. Somehow, no matter what I'm doing, I think it might be a little bit of ADD. I kind of just get a little spacey and just kind of like lose track of time sometimes. But I mean, who doesn't?
Right. Well, and do it right. Do it your way. Do it the right way.
Yeah,
that's
it's worked for me so far. Right. But to my defense, Ryan Healy, I never would be a person that would make anybody late. I feel like it's more on off days or like when we don't have anything to do. Like I'm not in a hurry.
Right.
I'm kind of like, that might be a little selfish. I don't want to come off as selfish. It's not like I'm purposely wasting their time. I think I'm just like, sometimes I lose train of thought.
Was that a good question, by the way?
It was a good question. Right. But Ryan Healy is the king of. We're like, hey, let's leave at 8:00, and he's like, let's leave at 8:07. I want to sleep for that extra 7 minutes. Like. So he doesn't have any room to say that to me, but Matt Olson and Chad Pinder have every right to say that to me.
I want to get it to a semi-serious topic. You were doing an interview after a game, and before Glenn let you go, you kind of snuck this in there. And it was a night where maybe 10,000 were out here on a Monday, and you spoke straight to the fans, like you went out of your way to put this in the interview. I loved what you said, but more importantly, I loved how you said it. You weren't forceful, you weren't demanding. You just suggested, hey, we would love you to come out and enjoy what we're accomplishing as a group out here. Just a couple things. What led you into doing that? And how do you think it went from your perspective?
I think it went really well. Yeah. I didn't really look and see what.
No, it made an impact.
What the reactions were too much, because I heard some people say that there was good and bad. Yeah. But I mean, I think whenever you put yourself out there, there's always going to be good and bad.
Yep.
It's apparent sometimes when you come to the game, and it's, there's a lot of open seats or whatever it is, and I'm not blaming people by any means. I understand that there's more to it than just this one season, and things like that. But Fernando asked me to go up on the thing after the game, and I was like, I just wanted to say something. And
that came from the heart.
It did.
I really felt like what you said wasn't scripted. It was.
I had nothing but positive things to say, and it was not intended for me to take any shots at anybody. I wasn't taking shots at anybody. I wasn't calling anybody out. I was just strictly saying that. We love when the place, because I mean, you can tell when this place is packed out, it's loud. And
absolutely.
Like that first game we had against the Yankees on Monday, the day game. I mean, it was 40,000 people here. It's loud. It's fun. And when we're in the hunt and we're in the dog days of August and September, and we're got people in our division for playoff spots, I mean, getting a boost from the fans can only help us. So that's what I intended to do, and I think that. It was only meant to be positive, and it just came because I mean, that one game we were playing against the Mariners. It was a very important game, and there was only 10,000 people here, it just made me sad.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to use that as an outlet to encourage people to come out and say, hey, we're fun to watch, because I think we are.
It was tactfully done. That's how I'll leave it. A couple more questions. One being just the chemistry that has developed with this A's team. It's one thing to have winning breed, everybody liking each other. I honestly feel like if you were just a 500 team and that's the next step that this group took, you guys would still be as cohesive as you are.
I think we would be too. I mean, obviously, when you're winning, everything's easier. Winning sweeps a lot of things under the rug.
Right.
But
right.
Not with this team. I mean, it's obviously a lot different than last year's team, but the way we finished last season, we were confident.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun together, and it was like a good, like that. A lot of those same guys that finished the last 2.5 months with us are here now.
Right.
And I feel like everybody that's come since that point has just kind of jumped on board, and it's just been their personalities and characters fit right in with where we want to go and what we want to do and how our team operates. You know, it's not very strict around here.
Yeah.
It's take care of your business on the field, and you know, everybody's responsible and gets treated like men, and I like that, and I like that we like to have fun and keep it loose, and we enjoy each other's company, and I think that makes it all that much better when you get out on the field and there are guys that you wanna fight for, that you want to play hard for, and everybody roots for everybody, and it's genuine. So things like that is just important, and if we weren't winning, I still think we would have the same amount of fun, and we would enjoy being with each other on the road or on the bus rides and everything like that. So I think that this team is a good group of friends, and when you have a group of people like that, can really make a difference.
I have to ask this next question carefully. I want you to try and separate the team aspect from the personal aspect. Let's just say the A's going to win the World Series. So that's said and done. That's out of the question. Everybody talks about a Gold Glove for you. Is that important to you now? Is that important to you at some point of your career? Is that never really important to you?
It's important to me. I'm not going to lie. I mean, if you want, I want to be the best. To be the best, I mean, that comes with the territory. Do I deserve it? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. I think I've done a lot of things to deserve it, but I've also done some things to not deserve it. Like
here he goes again.
A lot of errors. But I mean, that's not for me to decide.
Right.
I mean, like, you took the winning out of it in the World Series.
The team part.
The team part. That's number one.
Let's assume that's taken care of. Right?
So yes, I mean, that is important for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be average. I want to be the best, and I want to be great. And to be the best defensive third baseman, I think you need to win the Gold Glove. So I mean, that's a start. That's a start in the right direction. So yeah, it is important to me. I want to win that, not because I want to rub it in anybody's face or anything.
Because it's part of what you're trying to do.
Win. And to be recognized as the best usually means some hardware along the way. So yeah, it's important to me.
All right, last question here, and it's going to explain why I'm so dirty in just a second. But we will see some of your top plays, and we'll try and demonstrate some of your top plays here shortly. But as for the best defensive play you have made to this point in your big league career, what is it?
The best play that I've made, I think it might be the play that I made, the double play that we turned, me and Adam Rosales against Miguel Sano. That, or the double play that I turned against Troy Tulowitzki and with the bases loaded in Toronto, or the catch that I made down the line against Toronto that I feel like I got snubbed on that play. I was playing shortstop, and Justin Smoke hit a fly ball to way back in left field, and I ran out there and caught it.
It was an F7.
Like, nobody ever showed it once, and I feel like there should have been a sports science about it, honestly. Like,
isn't it amazing, of all the ones we keep replaying, now we're going to have to go back and show that one a little love.
You have to.
You were a rookie, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Matt Chapman wasn't as known for this.
Yeah,
so.
it was still early, and we hadn't, our team was obviously not playing that great, but
Wasn't a thing yet.
I think if Manny Machado made that play, they'd probably still be showing it.
We'll make sure we just showed it while you were talking about it. We'll edit that in for you.
I don't know. It's hard to really pick. I mean, I love making those plays, and sometimes I feel like I haven't made enough, but there's a lot of time for that.
Are you ready to see me pull a hamstring?
Yes.
All right, here we go. In our next segment, we're going to demonstrate and try and recreate some of this guy's best plays.
Stay tuned. Brodie's going to pull a hammy.